Answering questions. It seems to be a huge controversy that is constantly popping up. And with the SWAN technique, I am teaching you guys how to answer the questions. So I'm going to explain to you in depth why we should be answering our questions. This is Susie, your beautiful millionaire swan queen. Welcome back to the garden, my beautiful ducklings. Subscribe, smash the like button, share my video, and I will love you forever. Why do I instantly feel absolutely, positively amazing to be free, to be myself, knowing things are different, and I am loved, respected, and given credit for my teachings just because I asked this question? I am a life coach, and I am here to drastically change your life for the better. I tune into your happy meter and I dial it all the way up so you can live your dream life. If you're interested in working with me one-on-one, check out my website below. So answering the questions. With the SWAN technique, I am telling you to answer the questions. So this is going to be the simplified version. If you have absolutely positively no resistance, your relationship or whatever you are working on is going absolutely positively amazingly well, do not answer a why question. A how question must always be answered. Must always be answered. A why question, when everything is going great, why am I spoiled, just reinforces the question and the fact that you are getting spoiled. Why am I spoiled? Why am I blessed? Why am I lucky? Why is everything magically working out for me? Those questions do not need to be answered. The universe and the minions will deliver the answers for you. But when it comes to changing your life, you have doubts, resistance, issues you want to clear up, stories that you need to get rid of. A how question and a why question should be answered. How questions always have to be answered. The why questions, you are answering them with a true statement to bypass resistance, doubts, and the old story. With my technique, you guys are changing everything around. And I understand that change can be a little confusing and uncomfortable at first, which is why I am doing things differently. I'm not changing, I am doing things different. Because if I'm going to drastically change your life for the better, you have to try different things. And the different thing that we're trying in this case is answering the question. We made it a little bit longer so it fits your story in there. It revises your situation, and we answered it to make sure the universe knows you got it, so Dave can put it in the box, give it to Dawn so she can deliver it. Because we have minions. Minion Dave fills my order, delivery Dawn brings me my order. So when I am asking the question, why do I instantly feel absolutely positively amazing to be loved by Jared, knowing everything is different, and we are happily married just by asking this question? I had resistance to being married. I had doubts about being happily married. So when I answered the question, it gets rid of that resistance and doubt, and it moves me to my end. It revised the situation. So now I would love to be happily married. I have changed my thoughts and my opinions on what happily married means. In previous videos, you know, I said happily married equals miserable marriage. But now, with my question, I could see why I can be happily married. So I am making things different in my life by creating a new story, which I am embodying, which I'm using my new technique, the SWAN technique, to change so I can live from the end and feel it real. I know that's a mouthful. And that's why you guys are struggling with this. Instead of just taking the question and plugging into it and doing it, you're questioning it, which, in my opinion, is you still rejecting your manifestation that you are trying to create. So if you have a weight issue, Hello, beautiful. We still have the 4-year-old today.
How says?
And she wants to say hello.
Oh, yes, hello. Hi.
It's just you and me. They don't see you yet. There's nobody on here yet.
No. No.
Are you having fun today?
Yeah.
Are you watching Garfield?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, go back and watch Garfield.
Okay.
So we have a pattern interrupt with a 4-year-old here. She doesn't like the resistance. So she pops in and she gives you her attention. And then when she's done, she runs off and plays. Because 4-year-olds tell amazing stories. And they ask lots of questions. And they answer their questions. So a 4-year-old wants a cookie. Can I have a cookie? I want a cookie after dinner. When is dinner? In a little bit. Well, when is a little bit? In a little bit. Well, how long is a little bit? 30 minutes. Well, how long is 30 minutes? Is it dinner time yet? Can I have my cookie now? And they go on and on and on because that's all they know is how to be inquisitive, curious, and constantly asking for what they want. And they don't stop asking until they actually physically get it. So when you are using this one technique, you've got to answer the questions because it's bypassing the resistance. So if the 4-year-old says, I want a cookie, and you say after dinner because it'll spoil your dinner, they're going to say, it won't spoil my dinner. I'll still eat dinner. So can I have that cookie because it won't spoil my dinner? So they're answering their own question by saying it's not going to spoil their dinner if they eat the cookie before dinner. Think about this. So you are manifesting your ideal body weight. And you are walking around and you are too thin or you are too heavy. So it doesn't matter if you want to gain weight or lose weight. You pick a number that you want to weigh. Why do I instantly feel absolutely, positively amazing to reach my goal weight? Knowing everything is different. And I always weigh 123.4 pounds just because I asked this question. Well, here's the thing. I have resistance because when I look in the mirror, I see I don't yet weigh 123.4 pounds. I still see that I'm a little heavy. If I was a person gaining weight, I would still see that I was too thin and I needed to gain the weight. So by answering in the SWAN technique, you are bypassing your resistance, revising the situation. You are saying what you always want to weigh, and you are anchoring it to help create it happening. And then you're saying, it's working, it's working, it's working, it's working. Because if you're not saying any technique is working, how does it work? So answering questions. Resistance, you need to answer the question. Doubts, you need to answer the question. If it is general and you have proof beyond a shadow of a doubt that this question is working for you, like, why am I spoiled? I've been saying, why am I spoiled for what, over 400 days now? I've been saying it for a very long time. Why am I spoiled? Why am I spoiled? Why am I spoiled? Why am I spoiled? And I get amazing things every day, which proves to me, why am I spoiled? So think about your question. If you're asking if it needs to be answered, it's because you have some sort of resistance. What is the resistance? Is the resistance to the question? Is the resistance to the relationship? Is it the item that you are trying to manifest? What about it are you resisting? Because resistance is rejecting. So you are rejecting simply because you don't want to answer a question? You're rejecting because it's uncomfortable to ask the new question? Yes, it's easy to say, why am I spoiled? It's also just as easy to say, Why do I instantly feel absolutely positively amazing to be spoiled by Jared, knowing everything is different and we are happily married just because I asked this question? So now I took something that is true. My feelings, absolutely positively amazing, loved, spoiled, which we all know I'm spoiled rotten. I tied it with Jared. Then I said things are different, so I'm revising the relationship. Now we're happily married. So I put the end of what I want to be, and then I answered it. So all of these components can get me to live from the end, knowing things are different. I've revised the relationship. So Dave can now fill my order and Dawn can deliver it. It's not rocket science, guys. If you have resistance, there's something that needs to be cleared. And here's the thing. When you ask the questions, it brings this stuff up so that we can deal with it and release it. So if we're bringing it up in a loving way and we know that, okay, miscommunication is the hugest problem in any relationship. 99% of relationships that fail, it is because of a communication problem. They said something, you didn't understand it, you responded back, they didn't understand it. You were speaking French and Russian, and in actuality, your words were all English. That is a miscommunication problem. So you have to communicate with your brain to change the situation. But your brain has imaginations, thoughts, words, and then your body has feelings. So you've got to line those four up in a row. And if throwing in just because I asked this question lines it all up, revises it, and gets you to live from the end and feel it real, why wouldn't you answer the question? Instead of taking apart the thing, try it. Because everybody who has tried it has found that they are calmer, they are more peaceful, their doubts are leaving the building. They're not talking bad about the love of their life or their jobs or their weight. They can look in a mirror. It's really hard to look in a mirror when you think you're heavy. But my question changes people who are heavy to think they're thin. If you are changing somebody who thinks they're thin to being the ideal weight, the mirror's no longer going to bother them. The way their clothes fits their body's no longer going to bother them. They are just going to be like, oh, Susie did a video like she promised in the earlier video today so that she could have it up and ready for us tomorrow because she's still in the same shirt. I still have the same makeup on. No bracelets. I'm drinking Diet Dr. Pepper instead of Dunkin' Donuts coffee. The 4-year-old is still here. Things are different. In this case, not everything is different, just things. But normally, every time I do a video, everything is different. What I'm drinking is different. What I'm wearing is different. What I'm talking about is different. The only thing that is staying the same is that I'm somewhere in my apartment. Today, we're in the dining room again. The other day, we were in the living room. Think about what needs to be different. And if you are repairing a relationship, saying everything is different means that you know you are loved. You know you are respected, appreciated, adored, spoiled, cherished, protected. They are being faithful, open, honest. They're communicating with you in a loving way. If you broke up, they were no longer doing any of this. If you broke up, you thought, maybe they don't love me. Well, if everything's different, they even love you. Some things are different. You know beyond a shadow of a doubt, absolutely, positively, 100% that they love you. But some things are different because you need faithfulness and you need trust and you need to feel spoiled and cherished and protected. That is, some things are different. Things are different. So I am living with my person. We have a good relationship, but the communication's not so well at the moment. Or Our jobs are keeping us apart. We're just not hitting on all fours. We got to a point in our relationship where things were a little too comfortable. Well, things are different now. We're back to being happily married. There is a science to this to rewire your brain. If all it takes is to answer a question, how hard is that to do, guys? If you have resistance, answer your questions. If you don't have resistance, don't answer your questions. Why questions are your choice. If there's resistance, answer it. No resistance, don't answer it. How questions have to be answered. How questions must be answered, because when you say, how did I instantly feel absolutely, positively amazing to be loved by Jared, knowing everything is different and we are happily married, your brain goes into, how did this happen? And it's messing in the middle. So when you say, just because I asked this question, the brain no longer needs to figure out how it was done because you told it how it was done. Resistance needs to be bypassed. So you just answer a simple question. And the question isn't that complicated. If you can say 1,000 affirmations a day, you can say this question. Some people are only saying it 5 or 10 minutes a day. And then they're spending the rest of the day enjoying their life. There's a person I said earlier that did it twice a week and is having amazing results. Relax. Life is meant to be enjoyed. It is meant to be lived to the fullest. It is meant to be fun and adventurous. It is not meant to be complicated and hard. You are struggling to change a situation. Pick a technique, one technique, and do that technique for 21 days. Because it takes a minimum of 21 days to rewire the neural pathways in your brain. The longer you do it, it anchors it. When are you going to stop doing this? The day you die. Because you are a conscious creator. There are going to be days where you have to answer your questions. There's going to be days you don't answer your questions. There's going to be days where you make a statement. There's going to be days where it's just a phrase. But you have to persist every day in order to keep life in the flow that you want. Because if you don't, and you see something and you don't like it, and then you see that same thing a second time and you don't like it, well, now it pops up a third time and it's reared its ugly head. Guess what? We're back at square one and we have to start all over again. And we have to go back to the beginning and reform our questions and go back and do all of this work all over again. Keeping it is as simple as constantly saying, why am I happily married to Jared? That question is changing me. It's making me see the situation differently. And it is making sure that I see that this is why I'm happily married. This is why I'm happily married. That's why I'm happily married. I am so blessed because I have an absolutely positively amazing husband who spoils me. He cherishes me. He adores me. He protects me. He is my knight in shining armor. Well, if I'm Cleopatra and I want everything to be different, I want my Mark Antony by my side, so everything is different and Mark is standing next to me. That's how you got to look at it. Stop using logic and reason to answer love's call, because Cupid has no logic. He has no reasons. He pulls out his little bow and arrow and he flings a little arrow at you and he flings a little arrow at him and bam, it's done. Sometimes he flings arrows at the same sex. Sometimes he flings arrows at guys and then girls. Sometimes it's girls and then guys. Cupid has no reason for what he does. It's love. Logic and reason go out the window when love comes into play. So stop analyzing and start feeling. Feel your relationship. Allow the person to show up in the way that you need them to show up. because that is what makes the relationship successful and the reason that person wants to stay, because you are being true to yourself when you are saying, knowing everything is different. You guys have an absolutely positively amazing day. I love you. And as always, leave me a comment and let me know how I am drastically changing your life for the better.